don't see it on the face page, but
Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine HyVee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
hello, friends. Welcome to Hy-Vee Today. It's Tony Tone. We are sitting with you on Wednesday, the 20th of May, inside the Market Grill Express, which may or may not be opening soon. Stay tuned. So that'll be nice. Not sure exactly when that may happen, but it could happen. So if it does, we'll let you know as soon as we know so that you can come back in and grab breakfast and watch this show happen, because it's definitely something that I miss, the ambiance of people and the occasional person that would walk behind us as we were talking, and it'll feel good to get you all back in here. I'm going to mention a couple things really quick. On the back page of this week's Discover Muscatine newspaper, we've got an ad talking about some Memorial Day deals. I have a prop paper with me right here. There are some wine and spirits deals. We've also got it on the screen for you over there. So there's some wine and spirits deals at the top, and Jim Beam is one of them. Jack Daniels, Exile Brewing Company, one of my favorite breweries in Iowa, by the way. Gotta love Exile. They do a great job. Really do. And $14.99 for a 12-pack when you purchase some meat. Busch Light for $15.99 when you make a $3 meat purchase. And that Absolute Vodka for $14.99 is a great price. So we want you to check that out. We've also, on that same ad, there's the Million Brat sale that starts today. So all the brats in the meat department are 10 for $10. That includes brat patties, skinless brats as well. The Busch Light brats, very popular. We just got them last week. If you haven't tried the Busch Light brats, I recommend it. Definitely would be popular if you're having like a small group over for Memorial Day. Maybe you're having Memorial Day at home. That's cool. And then the Memorial Day Mega Muffin Fuel Saver. Say that 3 times fast. Great way to turn muffins into cheap gas, right? 5-cent fuel saver per muffin, okay? So 2 muffins, 10 cents, 4 muffins, 20 cents, 9 muffins, 45 cents. What if you bought 100 muffins? Don't make me do the math, but y'all can do the math, and that's a great deal. Also on there, you've got some Scotcheroos, cookies, bakery bread. Love that. The best. Twizzlers, That Smart ice cream, Bomb Pops. Those are the bomb. They are. We even have them sugar-free, so just something to keep in mind. Some napkins, because let's be honest, you need napkins, right? The other day, my daughter climbed on the kitchen table, threw all the napkins on the ground. It was hilarious. hanging baskets. We got a fresh shipment coming in Friday. And then all of the iron decorations starting today in the garden center are 15% off. That's a great deal if you've been looking to get some iron decor. And then, Brad, let's show them the bottom of that fuel saver. This is fantastic. Listen, you got to get the physical coupon that's on the back page of the paper. Today and tomorrow, with every $50 you spend, you turn in that coupon. We'll put 30 cents on the fuel saver so you don't have to pay full price at the pump. So even if you're not traveling this weekend, unless you're driving an electric car, you're still putting gasoline in your vehicle, right? I know that I am, and I definitely want you to take advantage of that coupon. So please check that out. That's on the back page of the newspaper. Today's also Wellness Wednesday. I'll mention that really quick. Everything in the health market is 10% off. So if it's vitamins, I bought some healthy ice cream last night. The Rebel ice cream, which is sugar-free, low carb. It's fantastic. Peanut butter fudge. Oh my gosh, tastes like the real thing. And I should have waited till today because it would have been 10% off. But I also work here, so I get a 10% discount every day. But today's the day for Wellness Wednesday. If you watching want to come in, vitamins, supplements, whatever the case may be, if it's in the health market, it is 10% off, and that is an awesome deal for you. I want to give a shout out to some folks watching on Facebook right now, Miranda and Debbie and my buddy Jeff and Becky. Dan Clark's out there, our pal Adam. If you're watching and I can't see your name, leave a comment and we'll give you a shout out, and I appreciate you being with us. All right, Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army of Muscatine is back, and I feel like last week went really well with the pandemic food pantry. It was amazing to see folks really step up to the plate and help out. I know that you had, posted some pictures prior to the start of that pandemic food pantry, and you're out of food at the Salvation Army.
Empty shelves, bare, wooden, sad, sorry shelves.
And I understand that, you've gone through a lot of food, specifically everything that was collected during freezing for food. But when you see pictures like that, I mean, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, especially whenever the community works so hard.
Sure.
During 2 weeks of love to fill the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
And I told somebody else the other day, it's a sad problem to have.
Sure.
But it's a good problem as well, because it means that people are being fed. It means that
right.
food's going on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hanging on to it. We're using it for what it needs use for.
Sure.
People are getting, their bellies are full.
Yeah, and that's what when I saw the pictures, I felt like the same thing. It's tough to see a food pantry with empty shelves, but at the same time, it makes me feel like everything is going to someone that needs it. And the hope is that you can continue to meet the need for people that you're serving. Have your numbers gone down at all, or is the need still there?
Yeah, the numbers have gone down.
Mm-hmm.
They actually fluctuate.
Okay.
They actually go, up
Sure.
and down quite a bit. It could be, 5 cars
Yeah.
on a Wednesday and then 25 cars on a Friday.
Wow.
There could be 5 people in the car that
Yeah.
have,
Mm-hmm.
that have 5 people in their family. Or there could be one person in the car that has a family of 10 back at home. So
Jeez
we look
Louise.
at the car and how many in the household
Sure.
to determine how many people are getting serviced by the
Yeah.
Salvation Army Food Pantry.
So you said Wednesday. So we're sitting here on Wednesday. So does that mean that you'll have folks coming through in the drive up later today?
Yes.
What time is that at?
From 1 to 3.
1 to
they
3.
can
Okay.
Come drive through the mobile food pantry. It's pretty simple. We don't really ask for much for the food pantry. We just we ask that if you can be a resident of Muscatine or Louisa County,
Sure.
and you just come through and we do this. We take bags,
Look at the food bandit.
drop them in your car.
Wow. Hy-Vee store director Matt Schweitzer. What's in the bag, sir?
Hey, we got $20 worth of groceries in here. We're making more bags this morning.
All right. Oh, so that's what you're doing. You're making all the bags, and we're sitting in here talking about good stuff.
Story of my life. It's unbelievable.
I feel like you're going to have some help with some labor with Tantera and Krieger sending some folks over. But this is awesome, and I feel like I'm seeing something I didn't see last week. Applesauce?
Yeah, it's a new bag, so we got them some new goodies. Plus, we're going to be loading up some pallets of cereal on the truck when they get here with the funding.
That's the
Yeah.
number one thing people ask for in a food pantry.
You told me that. See, and I listen. You think I don't listen, but I do.
So wait, that is it? That's the most requested item is cereal.
Yeah, people love.
Wow.
They ask for cereal.
And is it Hy-Vee cereal that they're going to be getting, or That's Smart, or?
Hy-Vee, yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. All right, so these are the new $20 bags. Again, this is a full bag.
And the loaf of bread is not in the bag, but it's included. So
Such a good
thing.
point. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, of course. So when you buy a $20 bag here at the store, and I almost don't want to take everything out just because it's so nicely packed in there, but when you purchase one of these bags for the Salvation Army to help feed people, a loaf of bread from the bakery also will be donated, which is super exciting. So so folks, if you're watching today, Wednesday, between 1 and 3, if you're in need or know someone that's in need, Salvation Army, 1000 South Oregon Street is where they can find you, and they just show up. They don't have to get out of their vehicle. Pretty contactless. Okay. And the reason that you're able to feed people today is because you had a lot of food delivered Monday.
Man, not a lot. It was a whole lot. It was
A whole lot. A ton. A ton. Yeah.
delivered.
Sure.
It just kept coming and coming and coming.
So you sent me a text, and it was like there were 800 of the bags, and that equated to $16,000 in food. And then there were donations where people would just look at these pictures. This is not when I saw these pictures, I thought, wow, that looks like when we do freezing for food, but that's all from the truck from this Monday that was unloaded.
This Monday, we had great help. We had, Quinn Reese was out helping us.
Sure.
And his wife Becky and Officer Whitney Pena from the Muscatine Police Department. I think we had some maybe Boy Scouts there, and there was. I mean, look at the picture. It's just a lot of people were there.
It's unbelievable
And
to
that picture
see.
was taken in under 45 seconds. So
Wow.
we didn't stay too close for very long.
Sure.
People will know. People will say, "Hey, you're close." And
Yeah.
it was.
I just, when I saw that, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Because, I certainly saw the Hawkeye truck when it was here, and I was aware that we were doing well with people being generous. But when you see that in action, and I also felt bad because I was off Monday and I totally forgot about the unloading, and I would have been down there. I swear, I was.
gonna text you too.
I forgot. I would have cruised down in 2 seconds. So, but the reality of the situation is, and right above that, there's empty shelves in the pantry. Below it is this Monday receiving that generosity, and that food's already going out, correct? So what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to be grim or dire, but we could go back to that soon because the demand is not slowed down. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, they got all that food, they're good. Because the need is still there. If you're watching, we're talking to you right there in that camera. If you're watching, don't assume, oh, everybody was super generous last week, I don't have to. If you can spare something like this, or even if you're just shopping and you could get a couple extra items, it'll go right there.
The reality of it is that we have 800 of these bags.
Wow.
And if we give, if we're serving, 200-300 people on grocery delivery day,
Right.
and then our mobile food pantries probably combined with ours and MTSA's,
Sure.
maybe 100, a little over.
Wow.
If we do that 5 days a week, it's gonna go quick.
It is going to go quick. And I was thinking about that this morning. I even said to one of my coworkers, I was like, what's it going to look like in August or September? But maybe I should say, what's it going to look like in July? So if you're watching, this is not slowing down, unfortunately. And again, I think part of that, misconception could be, well, states are starting to open back up. Certainly people might not be in need as much, but that's not the case, Lieutenant, right?
No, and
Sure.
This is what I told some people the other day. I said, folks are now getting their pink slips from work and their
Right.
furlough notices from work.
Right.
And let go from their jobs.
Mhm.
So people that have never had to access the pantry before are going to come. And they're going to say, hey, I don't know what to do. I'm new at this.
Sure.
And that's when we can say, you know what? You might not have ever had this before, but there's people that have your back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And companies, businesses that have your back. And this is what we can offer you because people gave.
Yeah.
For moments just like this.
And that's the thing. I feel like, for almost 20 years, this community is so used to coming together for 2 weeks of love, helping out, but then we're quick to just think, well, everything. And that's typically, that food pantry is in really good shape this time in a non-pandemic year. So hopefully people have, paid attention to what's going on, and they're going to answer the call. I mean, I know that a lot of folks have. Jeff on Facebook says, "Thanks, Greg, for making a huge difference in Muscatine. We hope we can have a good year at Stinky's Haunted House." Right, of course. That's one of those events. Halloween's on a Saturday this year. 4th of July's on a Saturday this year. Why does this have to be the pandemic year? With all of these great, my birthday's on a Saturday this year. You know, shameless plug, September 5th, coming in hot. But yeah, I mean, we want to be able to have those events. But in the meanwhile, if you're watching and you're thinking, what can I do to help? That's what we're talking about. Are there any other specific needs that you feel like, because the last time you were here, you kind of talked about this cleaning pantry. So folks that maybe are able to pick up like paper towels or cleaning supplies. Okay.
Sprays, Lysol sprays, the Clorox wipes, or any wipe that could disinfect, anything that can disinfect. So whether it be rubbing alcohol, bleach, that kind of stuff, whatever can disinfect, we'll take into the pantry. And let me just say, we have a really great individual down at the Salvation Army that's through the United Way.
Okay.
And she is really rocking it down there. She's kind of overseeing that cleaning closet. She's
Awesome.
doing a fantastic job
Yeah.
doing it.
And that's one of those things, like, you know, my wife texted me yesterday and she said, "Hey, can you get some like Clorox wipes?" And I was like, "Yeah, if we had them." And we don't. And that's one of those things, like, we might be getting some here at the store later today when a truck shows up, but I don't know for sure until the truck gets here. And there's been stories about how those types of products have been tough to keep up with. But then just like last week, we had a full shelf of little cans of Lysol spray. Yeah. So, and paper towels and toilet paper supplies are in much better shape. So again, if you're watching and you're thinking, what can I do to help? If you're coming to the store to do your own shopping and you grab a couple extra things, because it's really easy to get donations to you guys. Yeah. You know, I mean, you can't.
Contact us if they want.
Sure. Yeah.
Let us know you're there. We'll come out. Pick up the crap.
Right. That's the thing. Like, if you're already making the decision to help, bag of something, individual product, whatever the case may be, yeah, call the Salvation Army and they'll accept it. I promise. They'll do the work so you can stay in your vehicle because you're making the choice to be generous. Stephanie says, "I have a chance to get a pig processed and don't need all the meat. Do you take meat as well?"
Yes.
Stephanie, listen, you are amazing. And I'm here to tell you, Stephanie Hamilton, that's super cool because, and the lieutenant can take it away, but tell people, like, you don't really get a lot of perishable stuff. So things like processed pork would be incredible,
especially
right?
Right now, whenever there's shortages, and the fact that she can have a pig processed and want to give some to a pantry to feed other people, it's just amazing because you're hearing stories of people going to the store, they can't either afford it or can't find it, or they just can't get it. So the fact that, once again, someone in the community is knowing the need and stepping up to meet the need, man, God bless you.
That's super cool, Stephanie. And the thing that I'll say, because here at the store last week, we had the bags, and then we also had an opportunity for people at the register to donate money. And our thought was, we can take however much money is collected and then ask someone like yourself, "Hey, what would you like to be able to buy that you typically don't have?" And you said things like milk, things that are perishable like meat products, but even things like eggs. And I think that for people that haven't needed help, they maybe don't understand that that's the reality for a lot of folks that are in need. They might be getting a bag full of stuff, which is great, but it's going to be missing some of the things you could take for granted when you come to the store. Sure. Yeah. And the cereal thing is so fascinating to me. And is it because cereal is why is that in such demand? I mean, I try to wrap my head around it. Is it one of those things that people look at as kind of like, I don't want to say an amenity because breakfast shouldn't be the most important meal of the day, some would say. But that's what people ask for the most,
They come to the pantry and the first thing they want to look at or they look for is boxes of cereal. And I don't know if it's because their kids are picky eaters and they only eat cereal or because cereal really is a breakfast, lunch, and dinner food.
Right, right.
I mean, I like cereal for dinner sometimes.
It's pretty good. I have to admit, I'm trying to behave more this week with like a diet. But man, cereal at night, especially when everybody's asleep in my house, like I throw down some what's the one, the Flintstones, the like Cocoa Pebbles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my Lanta. And I know, like, I always feel bad, but it's the best. That's why I'm resetting the diet.
Yeah.
Sue Ryan says she can't hear Greg speaking. Do we have Greg's mic on? I'm assuming we have it, right? I feel like people would have said that they couldn't hear him. Were we muted, or is he okay? He was muted the whole time? That's my fault. Oh, boy. Okay. So, all right. So if you didn't hear anything the lieutenant was saying, we were talking about cereal and how that is something that is not often received. And what I'm excited about, Lieutenant, is I believe there's a box of cereal in there. Look at that. That's super cool.
Frosted Flakes.
Wow. That is super cool. So, okay, if you're watching, Pandemic Food Pantry is coming back to this store. The Hawkeye Hauler truck should be here later today, and then we're going to have another $20 bag that is available. And Lieutenant Bach was saying that today, on Wednesday, between 1 and 3, you serve people. And how does it work as far as folks that stop by between 1 and 3? Is it like certain things that they're given, or what? Like what's on the?
So they're going to get probably a box. We just got boxes in from Davenport from the Salvation Army.
Sure.
And so there's a box full of just random stuff. And we'll supplement that with probably a 1-pound tube of hamburger meat that we have. We still have some tubes of hamburger meat in there. And some things, probably some spaghetti stuff from these bags, or supplement with one of these bags. Because these are really fantastic bags. I mean, if you think about it, this is an entire probably meal and some leftovers in this bag. Well, even more meals, because you have the cereal, you have the applesauce, you have crackers, you have, I mean, it's a really, some canned meat.
Yeah.
You have some really good stuff in here. So it'll probably be a few meals. So they're going to get some good stuff when they come through.
But just keep in mind, if you're watching, like, folks are going to come and get stuff that was donated, and that's great, but then that also brings your inventory down.
Yes.
And that's where we don't want to have to see pictures of an empty pantry. I mean, it's a good thing because, again, everything that's coming in is going out, which is awesome. But I'm telling you what, like, please, just if you're watching, come and help. Like, this will make a big difference. Donating cleaning supplies would be awesome.
Yep.
And I had someone, and I know you had an insurance agent. I think it was Walton Ponce, donated $1,000 with shelter insurance. I had and some of the State Farm agents contact me last week, and they're like, "Hey, we want to spend $1,000. What can we buy?" And I'm like, "Well, you could buy a lot of stuff."
Yeah.
So that's really nice to hear people, whether it's individuals, Lieutenant, or businesses, like. It's got to make you feel good as someone that hasn't even been in town a year yet to have gone through all of this and still have people that are like, I'm going to help out.
Yep.
Like, and it could be people that have donated already or for the first time or never, but they're like, you know what? I feel so compelled. I'm in a good place. I'm going to help.
Well, you know what? When there's a movement and really a force for good that's really not just a movement, but really an impactful movement.
Sure.
And people are seeing the need, they're seeing the results of the need, and they're seeing how people are stepping up to do it. They want to jump on board.
Yep.
And there's a connection. Let me tell you something. If you have kids and they're in your car, you go grocery shopping, you bring out the bag, have them take some of those items in that bag and walk it to the trailer, because it'll do something to them. There's a connection made whenever you have the physical item and you're giving it. There's a connection made when you're standing in a serving line and you're dishing out that macaroni and cheese or mashed potatoes and putting it on a tray. There's a connection made, and there's something that inside of you that just feels you have empathy.
Yeah.
And you have a desire to really step up and help people in their time of need.
Yeah.
And those people packing those bags here and at Salvation Army with Nora and the MCSA crew, they hear the term essential worker all the time. I told them the other day, listen, when you pack this bag full of food, you're packing essential things.
Absolutely.
People don't have to choose now between risking their health going out in public or maybe their prescriptions over their grocery bill now. Because, I mean, people are stepping up and they're giving.
Yeah, and that is such a good point. That essential worker term has been utilized a lot. And for people that are able to volunteer and take the time to help others, totally essential, because I don't want to say who else is going to do it, but where would we be without all of those volunteers,
Right.
all of these agencies working together to share resources, because the goal is feeding people,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
How do we do it? If we all work together, awesome. We can, lean on each other. But at the end of the day, if there's people that are in need, let's help meet the need.
Yep.
And it's great to know that the community can come together. So that's why Lieutenant Bach and other folks have been on the show so much, because during a pandemic, my thought is we're going to reach somebody, someone like our friend Stephanie that's going to donate some of the pigs she's getting processed, which is amazing. We're going to share information with people that either can give but didn't know how, or are in need and now feel empowered, because it's okay if you need help.
It is.
And I'm not in a
It is.
position where my family needs help, but if I did, I wouldn't hesitate, because that's what people like Lieutenant Bach
Yeah.
and MCSA and United Way, that's what they're here for, right?
We
There's
never want to
no-
make somebody feel like ashamed or guilty
Sure.
for asking for help, because we all need help. We
Yeah.
all need to understand that there's nothing wrong
Sure.
with calling and saying, "Hey, I need some help, this month, or for a few months, or
Yeah.
if you need to contact MCSA, Salvation Army, United Way, Jesus Mission." We all have the heart of the person at the center of our focus.
Right. And I just think you're like, so your story, just out of the, what is it called? The Salvation Army
College for Officer Training.
College for Officer. I was going to say the Salvation Army School, but
That'll work
College
too.
for Officer Training is a lot better. So yourself and your wife, Lieutenant Liz Bach, but you had been a part of the Salvation Army before,
Yeah.
but you made the decision to go through the college to then get, and you got, we're blessed to have you guys get sent to Muscatine, which is awesome. But you've had so many experiences in just, how many years had you been with the Salvation Army before you made the decision to go to the college?
I started with the Army back in 2012,
Okay.
actually, maybe
So,
13, up in northern Michigan.
8-9 years. Wow. And you've had so many cool experiences. And I'm just thinking about my aunt, Margie, who's in Chicago suburbs. She was always super involved and, had a good job. And I remember the first time that we went to a church that wasn't our church, but it was around the corner in my hometown of Oak Park, Illinois. And it was on a Sunday night, and it was in the basement of the church, and they were feeding people in need. And I don't know if maybe I was 12 or 13. And that was the most humbling experience ever. Because I was like, this church is 4 blocks away from my house, and it's packed.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
maybe
it's
you would have
packed.
never known that was
I had
taking
no
place
idea.
4 blocks from your house.
And that
right?
was, and I don't, it's interesting as a parent now, because it's I don't want to humble my kids on purpose, but I need them to be empathetic, to understand y'all got it real good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at work this morning and somebody's buying stuff on their Amazon Fire tablet, and I'm getting the email. One of them's buying an app for $2, and I'm like, y'all got it real good. So I want them to understand without overwhelming them.
Yeah.
This is a tough time, but it's tougher for other people.
It is, yeah.
And I think that's okay for kids. Again, I don't want to overwhelm them with stuff, but I also want them. I don't want them to be naive.
Yeah.
And I don't know the best way to go about that. Maybe it is to have them see the truck, because we're trying to not have them go a lot of places. But if they see the truck and if they could bring a bag out there, I think you're right. I think that's the best way to do it. And you have kids your own, right?
Yeah,
and
and
certainly
they
experienced
always
that.
want to jump in and help when they
Sure.
can, and we're thankful that our kids want to be a part of what we're doing. It's really a family ministry, a family operation, if you will. And so, as a kid, and there's kids in that picture that are
fantastic.
helping. And
Yeah.
As a kid, I was very involved with my home church. That was always very let's go and serve oriented, outreach oriented. So there was always something going on at the local Salvation Army in Alton, serving Thanksgiving dinner. We gave out groceries all the time. We just did a lot of stuff in the community. So the community would have to come to us. We'd go to them. And so just that beginning of service, the beginning of being able to give back when I was younger, it made a difference through my whole life. And having parents in the service industry as well, like my dad, fire chief, my mom, nursing stuff, my sister's a nurse, and having that definitely helped because we would see it, we would understand it more, I think, than a regular person. But Yeah, when you're young and you can be you're impressionable, when you can have that impression on you that, you know what, there are people out there that are really struggling.
Sure.
And whatever I can give, let me give. And it's always fun to watch kids at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, can I buy a toy for my friend? Because they might understand that he might not have a lot of toys, but they might not know why.
Right.
So whenever you can impress upon them when they're young about need. And I don't like to say less fortunate. I hate it. I don't hate it. I really dislike when people say, well, the less fortunate. Well, no, listen. They just need a hand up right now.
I love that hand up. That's the best thing that I think you've said since I've known you, giving them a hand up, because we're all not too far removed from needing that hand up.
Yeah.
And that's where, again, like having conversations like this and, people coming together. Tara Riggin just commented on Facebook that she says that this coverage has been essential, and I appreciate her saying that. I feel like that Riggin family been pretty darn cool to think. Because here's the background on the pandemic food drive. So Dave Riggin and Joey Krieger apparently came down to the pantry.
Dave just walked in one day.
Dave walked into your...
I was in the gym, Nora was in the gym, and he just walked in and he walked around the corner, and I looked at him and I thought, I recognize that guy.
Right.
But I couldn't put the two together. Nora said, oh, hey, Dave. And I was like, oh, it's Dave Riggin.
Right. So he sees that and he freaks out. Like they were like, we can't allow that to happen. They were like devastated. And again, it's okay because all the food's been donated.
Yeah, it's all.
But at the same time, for people because the other story with Tantera is they brought people back to work. Like they had truck drivers that weren't working because of the pandemic that they were like, hey, we're going to bring you back to work. And you might be like today at 10 a.m., I'm going to have a crew from Tantera building bags. That's unbelievable.
That's the coolest part. And I really wish like the news would have maybe focused on that more, that here we have employees that are out of work. We have two companies that are really rooted in their communities, so much so that they know that their employees are in need and their community in which they serve is in need. And what do? They bring back their furloughed employees to run this food drive, to help out with different things, and pay them to run a food drive that's going to help other people in their community. So it's just like, whoa. And I'm a news junkie, man. I watch the news all the time. And this is a story that I promise I have not seen anywhere. And
that's the thing, like this news cycle being so intense, when you can have that story of somebody feeling so compelled. I mean, they put together this pandemic food pantry in like, I don't even know, like a couple of days, and they coordinated all the different locations, and then they kind of reached out and they were like, what do you want to do? And it was like, okay, well, obviously we need to help. But yeah, that story of bringing people back to work is so powerful and worthy of just as much attention as encouraging people to pick up, $20 prepackaged bags. And I think, again, the ultimate goal is to serve people. And I don't care how we do it, what it looks like, but I just don't want people in the town that I live in to go without. Because a lot of this, because the other part of this, Lieutenant, that drives me, that bothers me is that assumption that people are taking advantage of a pandemic. And maybe they don't need the help. Here's the thing. If somebody needs help and they can muster the confidence to ask for it, to receive help, I don't want them to qualify for it. I don't care.
Right.
If they're there, let's help them out. And I don't need, I don't need a background check, or I don't need proof, because I come from the thinking of, if it were me and I needed help, I wouldn't want to have to feel guilty about saying, hey, you know what, I need a bag of food this week, or I need help with the utility bill.
You're already going there kind of like down on yourself that you have to go to a pantry and then to receive, just 20 questions and your firstborn and a blood sample to get help. No, we're not about that. We want to meet needs in real time. We want to meet needs right where they're at. And that's what's cool about this. Listen, we can order from the food bank. We have no problem ordering from the food bank, but they're a few weeks out in their orders now.
Gotcha.
So there's a lull between what we have in stock and the people that we need to feed. We've run out of food. This is meeting needs in real time. Listen, writing a check, that's meeting needs in real time as well. But to have this food drive where actual food's coming to you, this is real time compassion in action.
How about the fact that kettle during, we were giving away mangoes last week, And in less than 2 hours, people coming to get free mangoes, because we had a kettle out there, $600 in cash.
600.
In less than 2 hours. And then there was one day, Dave Riggin told me they had $3,000 in checks. Some business from Tipton drove down a $1,000 check. I wish I knew the name of that business, but that's unbelievable. And again, when people see that Hawkeye truck in May, it feels weird because you usually see it in December or late November, and that's that signal. It's like the bat signal. When they see the Hawkeye truck, they're like, oh, I got to help out. So to see it now is kind of alarming, but that's okay. You know, that the kettle's been here, and I think it's such a beacon of hope. I felt so good just driving into work this morning and seeing it because I know that good is happening. But yeah, it's just wild, you know, that there's, because this year for Freezing for Food will be 20 years, which is unbelievable to have a community fundraiser be going on for 20 years consistently. There's never been a year where it hasn't happened. But at the same time, we've also never had a pandemic in those 20 years. So you got to fire up the bat signal again, right? And that's what we're doing. So these are unique times we're living in, to say the least.
You know, we push it a lot on social media, and I hope people don't get tired of seeing that. But we push the need so much, and this was kind of in the works before this happened, but it's even more pressing now. I have a friend in West Branch, Michigan, actually. He's a youth pastor, and they're bringing their youth group down at the end of June. So you'll have some middle school, high school students, and some adults coming down from northern Michigan to come and just serve Muscatine and Muscatine County. There's like probably 12 or 15 of them coming down to just serve for a whole week. Whatever we need them to do, whether it's food rescue, whether it's delivering meals, whether it's running another food drive, whatever, mowing somebody's lawn. They're coming down to help because they sense the urgency of the need here, and they want to come and help.
That's so great. These stories, they've been so good, and we need good stories and good news and people being acknowledged for stepping up to the plate. And I just hope that if you're watching, you understand that nobody's trying to sound like a broken record. The need is there. The need is real. How many people do you think this week will have received food in our town that otherwise wouldn't have?
Between everybody?
Between everybody, yeah.
So the numbers have gone down for the hot meal delivery program because we're kind of farming it out to people that usually do it. But if we're counting everybody, there's 900 people usually that receive the hot meal program, right? And there's probably 150 people for mobile food pantry between the two. And there's, 200, 250 that get the grocery delivery.
It's 1,300 people.
Yeah. I want people to hear this. We can only do it. Because people see the need and they want to have their neighbor, their friend, their local, their fellow citizens back. And in a pandemic, that's what we need. We need folks to step up and say, you know what? I recognize that you're going through, and I'm here. Let's link up arm in arm and walk through this together.
So 13, Brad, show them this. Don't zoom in. Just come to me for a second. 1,300 people. And I know you can't get, but that's 1,300 people. 1,300 people in Muscatine County. Without, what would they do? I don't know. 1,300. I didn't even know it would be that many. You kept, and when you say that, it's so hard to hear it because it's not just a number. We're talking about people. We're talking about families. We're talking about elderly folks. We're talking about folks that, like you said, just lost a job, that have never needed help, that need help now. They are people. They have stories, and they are worthy of just sharing that. And that's staggering. 1,300 people.
And it might even be bigger than that because those cars that come through, there could be 10 in their household. And we do see large families that come through for this stuff. And so people might not understand it. And let me tell you, if you are out there and you've seen this for the last 6-7 weeks, and you don't just quite understand what's going on, I invite you to call us up and come down and mask up and glove up, and we'll take you through our operation, and you can really see how it works.
It's just, I don't know what to say. It's a lot of work and effort, and it feels good to know that there are so many people involved and helping between Salvation Army and MCSA and United Way and Jesus Mission, and that everybody is in it for the right reasons. but that's a staggering amount of people. I just want to say hello to our friends Lily, Brenna, and Katie that are watching, young people that have been involved in the pandemic food pantry, and it's so great to get those young people started on this. Okay, so one of the last things I want to ask, because things are, and I don't want to say things are starting to reopen, because certainly, there were 535 new cases in Iowa yesterday. So, oof. But things are starting to come back around. Whether it's too soon or not is not for us to debate here. But what does that mean for your operation at the Salvation Army? Because certainly y'all want to be able to open the doors and have people come through and be able to serve people meals there, but then also have your worship services. What are any news on that front from when the doors might be reopening?
So we've been approved to have a plan to reopen. Okay. We have to submit a written plan to our divisional commander that's going to just lay out how we're going to keep people safe, how we're going to social distance, how we're going to provide for personal protection equipment.
Sure.
Does it mean that we're going to reopen the doors tomorrow? No, it doesn't. And I have a hard time just wrestling with the fact that we're kind of the hub of the food service right now in Muscatine County for this, this relief effort. And so I can't just kick people out of the building and say, okay, we want to kick the whole operation out because we want to come together for one church service a week. I just can't do that.
Sure.
So we'll continue to do online services. We'll continue to do online worship stuff. We're going to open up this week or next week and for social services. So Sissy's going to jump back on the social services stuff so we can get that going. We've been available to do it. There's just, I don't think people are understanding yet. They can reach back out to get the help. But it's, so our operations will be different probably for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Because we just can't kick the food operation out to let regular stuff happen that we would have happen over the next 6 months.
Well, it'll be, and obviously taking the right steps and the right measures just makes sense. And that's a good point, right? So the Salvation Army has become the hub for everybody that's doing the right thing and meeting the need, because you do have a lot of space.
We do.
Between the gym and the chapel, and it's a bigger building than I think people realize. So that's great to hear, and I know that just given my experience with the Salvation Army, nobody will rush to anything, and there'll be right steps taken.
That's right. They don't rush to nothing.
Right. sometimes you got to nudge them a little bit. But sometimes you get a giant red kettle, and I'd love, can we flip a camera on the red kettle out there, guys? Sometimes you can get a red kettle built in 5 weeks. So sometimes you can move a little bit quicker. I just hope that if you're watching, to recap, Salvation Army is doing their most good for sure, and we are getting ready, and there is the red kettle a little bit to your right or to your left? Probably to your left of where you're at, right? Yep, left of the garden center.
Other way. Keep going the other way.
You're other left. Wait, we're over by the garden center. There we go.
Keep going that direction.
Going. And almost got a kettle.
Keep going. There it is.
Kettle. Look at the size of that thing. You slept in that for how many nights?
Oh, man. 6 nights, 7 days, 6 nights.
Too many.
Yeah. And you know what? I'd do it again.
Yeah?
I would.
Of course you would do it. It's 70 degrees out.
I would do it again in the dead middle of winter, too.
All right, look at that kettle. Have you checked to make sure there's no food in it or anything?
No.
Nobody's slung any
but
food
you know what?
There?
When it's out like this, there's always change somebody throws up in there. Yeah.
There's change in there.
There's always pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, silver, the golden dollars. Yeah. People just walk by and just kind of flip it up in the kettle.
I love that kettle. That thing is so great. All right, listen, the Hawkeye Hauler truck, as I've lovingly referred to as the Bat Signal, will be back in our parking lot later today. And like I said, there is a team. I mean, this is no joke. No joke, y'all. This is a full, heavy bag of food. And I know that, for 20 years, 19 years, we've had $5 bags of food. But again, we've never been in a pandemic. So if you can afford 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 of them, my goodness, it's going to go a long way. And there's a lot of good products in here. I mean, again, I don't want to take it all out just because it is so nicely packed. But look at this. You've got some corn. I showed you applesauce, some more corn right there. I showed you the cereal. So this is a full bag, and it is going to make a big difference. And again, how do you know that the need is real? The truck was out last week, and then just this past Monday, went to the Salvation Army to be offloaded, and then that food is, I mean, it's coming from your hands, not making too many stops before it's going to somewhere in need.
Yeah, it goes right out the door.
Okay, so if you want to get involved, please consider donating food, donating cleaning supplies. If I always say, if you got too much money you don't know what to do with, write a check. If you're like our friend Stephanie that's getting an animal processed and she's like, can I donate some fresh meat?
Yeah.
Is there a certain way that, because obviously you want to get that stuff refrigerated,
Yeah,
but you have refrigerators.
We have freezers,
right?
we have refrigerators, we can get that stuff. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
We can take
So
it
that's
in.
a good point. And I'll just say this is in closing, like say again, you're at Hy-Vee getting your stuff for your family and you're like, could I get an extra dozen eggs
Yeah, certainly.
and drop off? Could I get
Definitely.
an extra, I don't know, whatever the case may be, gallon of milk? And could I leave the store with, 6 gallons of milk and call the Salvation Army and say, hey, I'm going to drop off 6 gallons of milk I just got from Hy-Vee. Is that okay?
We'll take it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we don't have
glad
that happen
that-
very often, so that's,
Yeah.
we can do it.
But I mean, imagine that, something that is just not usually there. Same thing with produce, by the way. I shouldn't
yeah.
leave out. I mean, I got giant watermelons behind us. We got a whole bunch of good-looking produce out there. Same thing, right?
Yeah, fresh fruits and produce always are a hit.
I got a thing of strawberries
People
right
like
here
this.
because today is National Pick Strawberries Day. So maybe it's a thing of strawberries,
Yeah.
right? Not a bad idea.
When we have that stuff come through the food bank, that's always the first to go.
Produce stuff.
When people
Yeah.
could come in for it and it would be in the front of our building, those things would just fly.
It's fantastic. Tara says those bags are heavy. They are heavy. It's a workout.
Yeah.
We're getting ripped from lifting these bags.
I have to throw this in here.
Yeah.
People, I want them to understand that the Riggin family and the Krieger family, they approached me
Right.
for this, which means this was initiated by them.
Right.
So these are employers that are meeting the needs of their employees and their employees' families and their friends, neighbors, strangers. So if you can do business with them, please, please, please go and do business with the Riggin family and the Krieger family because they really are looking out for people in Muscatine County.
All right, before you go, what's in the box?
What's in the box? Okay.
If you'll humor us. You
All
know how
right.
this works.
Yep, I know how it works.
Put the hands in, pop the doors open, close
the
your
doors.
eyes.
Okay, I'll
I
put
don't
my head
even know
down.
what's in the box. Lieutenant Greg Bach playing.
In the
What's
world
Box.
is this?
All right, so we'll keep you. Take your time. We're getting the camera focused in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. we've
Man, I
got-
wouldn't even know what this is. Does it open? Is there like a.
Let me see here. Rotate it a little. Oh, wow. What's the hint again, Chris? $1 million. Okay. Yeah, so today is also National Be a Millionaire Day. So it has something to do with that. Let's not set the lieutenant up thinking he's got like $1 million in his hand.
Is this like
not
a?
$1
Is this
million.
like a smaller version like Monopoly? It's like a Monopoly game or something like that.
It's not bad. That's not a bad guess. Let's take a look because I don't even really know what it is still, even
Am I
looking
look?
at
Can
it.
people see it?
Yeah, they can see it. No, you're good.
Okay.
Pop it here. Let's see. Hand it up here. Let me see here. What is this? What is it? It's like, it's one of those things where you like open it up and there's treasures. You got to like dig through it. These
I
are
would have
super
never
popular.
guessed that.
Will you find real gold dipped treasure? Interesting. Treasure Kings. Wow. So by the way, since it is National Be a Millionaire Day, if you're a millionaire and you want to help out the Salvation Army, if you want to throw $1 million in that kettle out there,
Yeah.
that would be
Do it.
awesome.
Or you
right?
can donate through the community foundation earmarked for Salvation Army because they'll match it up
Hey
to $100,000.
Matching donations as well. That's fantastic. All right. Mary Darnell says that would be great for milk and eggs. So again, keep that in mind next time you're at the store. If you
She's
can,
doing a fantastic job too.
Mary's
She's,
amazing.
man, she
Everybody
really is.
has just, again, unprecedented times. Everybody stepped up. It's awesome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Lieutenant Greg Bach,
Always a
Salvation
pleasure.
Army here in Muscatine. Help out. $20 bag.
What?
Fresh
What?
produce. Milk, eggs. If you're making your trip and you can afford to get a couple of things extra, they will accept it. I promise you.
Yes.
Not going to say no to much.
And you can be guaranteed that it'll go
Right.
to somebody and keep their belly full.
What's the only thing you're going to say no to? Like if somebody's got like a box of kittens, you don't want a box of kittens.
Right.
Right.
Or rotten eggs.
Or rotten eggs. Right. Yeah. Please. And then just real quick, this is on my desk. I was off Monday, And on my desk when I got here yesterday, there was just a random envelope. And I'm like, this is why I love this town, because somebody was like, hey, you know what? I got and I don't want to touch the cash just because, but there's $1 in there. Like, that's super cool. Somebody was like, this is a donation for the Salvation Army. That's amazing, right?
These right here, this could be a sacrificial offering for somebody. Somebody could have really this could have been a big deal for somebody to give this $1. And we had one of these in Northern Michigan that came through every month.
Wow.
Someone will send $1 in and write, pray for my grandma. It was horrible, sloppy handwriting. We had a name. I looked it up, and it was a special needs older gentleman.
Wow.
Who gave $1 each month, faithfully each month.
That is
and so I wrote him
amazing.
thank you notes over and over again, and then he upped it to $2.
Wow.
But still, it was to know
That's
that
so cool.
That was important to him.
Yeah.
To give that $1. So thank you very much.
And that's the best part is
This
Salvation Army
this will provide 6 meals from the Riverbend Food Bank.
Wow.
Just so you know, $1 equals 6 meals at Riverbend.
That's amazing. So, and again, the journey of $1 right there.
Yeah.
There it goes. Or a bag of food going from here to somebody in need. All right, let's go CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam, and we'll get the lieutenant out of here since he has to go feed people soon. Again, 1 till 3 p.m. today if you're watching. You can receive food at the Salvation Army, 1000 South Oregon Street here in Muscatine. Yep. Hawkeye Hauler truck is on the way, and there's a live shot outside in the store. Looking good. Got some Memorial Day balloons in there. As I know, it feels weird to say that we're heading into Memorial Day weekend, but that's where we find ourselves already.
I can't believe it.
Goes by quick. I mean, it was just March 13th, not too long ago, and then time flies when you're living in a pandemic. It really does go by fast.
You're right.
I mean, it does
it's
not
been crazy.
slow down. All right, a couple of things we're going to tell you, and then we're going to get out of here. I just want to mention again today, the 20th of May, National Emergency Medical Services for Children Day. So keep that in mind. Today is also National Quiche Lorraine Day. It is Pick Strawberries Day. I've got, again, some strawberries here. National Be a Millionaire Day. Nobody ever complains. Thank you, sir. Nobody ever complains about being a millionaire, right? I mean, you can't really, if you win the lottery, you're not going to be like, oh, shucks, I won the lottery. You're not going to do. You can see on the front page of the paper, Lieutenant Greg Bach and our friends doing the pandemic food pantry drive. So that's cool. Backside, Hy-Vee ad, including, this is the coupon right here. Right here. You got to have this coupon. Get the scissors out. Practice your cutting skills and cut out that coupon on the paper and come in the store today and tomorrow. And with every $50 you spend, you're going to get 30 cents off per gallon. That's an excellent opportunity to save at the gas pump. Okay, price of gas certainly has gone up a little bit. You don't have to pay full price if you don't want to, as we like to say. So that's awesome. And then inside that newspaper, that's where you're going to find the Hy-Vee ad for Memorial Day. You can see the Million Brat sale on the front. There's a wine and spirit sale on the back, right? Things are looking good. Ad feels nice. I love that little American flag cheesecake in there. That looks good. Love seeing that. And again, wine and spirit sale that kicks off Thursday. So tomorrow through Saturday, you got a couple of days to save during a wine and spirit sale. So keep that in mind. That, again, you'll find all of that inside the Discover Muscatine newspaper in your mailbox, delivered all to Muscatine County. So paper, and then you flip it, you got a Hy-Vee ad, and then you do this move, and you got a Hy-Vee ad on the back, right? Just marvelous. Okay, how about the pandemic food drive? We've talked about it ad nauseum, but the Hawkeye truck will be coming back, and here you go, Matt Schweitzer, Hy-Vee store director, dropping off the updated $20 bag of food. There's cereal in there. There's applesauce in there. It's a great value, and it's going to someone in need. Please consider helping out. We would love to have your support. DoorDash, I'll mention, again, if you're looking for your favorite Hy-Vee Market Grill Express menu item, maybe you haven't had an omelet or a skillet or that mac and cheese burger, you can download the DoorDash app onto your phone and then order on your phone, and we will get your stuff to you. So that's on the old cell phone, DoorDash, free app to utilize. Download it and watch your mac and cheeseburger be delivered to your home. It is really that easy. Another option is Hy-Vee.com/mealtime. Okay, Hy-Vee.com/mealtime. Easy way to order things like Hy-Vee Chinese, anything from the kitchen, sushi, Italian, can bring it right out to your vehicle. You don't even have to leave your car. So check that out again, Hy-Vee.com/mealtime. And then I believe I sent the May food court deals in an email. So there's options for lunch and dinner in the month of May throughout the course of the food service offerings here in the store. So if you're looking for different deals, we've got them, and they're available for you throughout the month of May. That'll, of course, be updated in June when we get to that point. So for May, you can see today's, what is it, Wednesday, right? Is that right? It's Wednesday? So Chinese, what do we have? Can we go back to that? Chinese 1 or 2 entree meal, $3.99. Crab rangoons for just 66 cents each. Gotta love that. $2.99 pulled pork sandwich from the kitchen. And how about some half-off crab rangoon dip? Ooh-wee, doesn't that sound good? Looking ahead to Thursday, 15-cent fuel saver on any breakfast. They'll, of course, have drive-up steak, weather permitting, and 50-cent boneless wings. Ooh-wee, that's a good deal. And then a meatloaf dinner as well. Those are food court deals for the month of May here at the store. Definitely want you to come check them out. All right, we are looking forward to tomorrow. We're going to do a little thing in our parking lot, a little honk and wave for the senior members of Hy-Vee. So we've got some high school seniors, class of 2020, inviting them to come out at 4 p.m. So if you're watching and you want to be a part of this, you can join us in the back of our parking lot at 4 p.m. tomorrow, and we'll do a little honk and wave for our high school seniors, because we have quite a few. I mean, I think at least 15 or 20, if I'm not mistaken. So we look forward to doing that tomorrow. There's a Facebook event you can check out on our Facebook page. And again, that's tomorrow, Thursday at 4 p.m. Class of 2020, graduation cards. I could play this, but we'll get dinged for the copyrights, since this plays the song All-Star by Smash Mouth. And the folks at, BMI will ding us for playing a song that's copyrighted, even though I clearly don't own the copyrights to, hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play, hey now. I don't think they can ding if I sing it, because there's no copyright on me. Consider, you got to get a card for member of the class 2020, or if this does play a song, trust me, I don't want to get muted because I played a copyrighted song. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of getting emails that says, your video's been partially muted because you don't own the copyright to the song. Yeah, duh, I don't. I'm sorry. Maybe we need to start recording our own songs. Or we could reach out to Smash Mouth, because they don't seem to be too busy, and see if they could cover or create a Hy-Vee today. By the way, if you're watching and you're a musician and you ever want to send original music into the show, I would totally play it on the way out. Or if you wanted to create an intro for the show, Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone, email hyveetoday@gmail.com. I mean that. Why not? I mean, if you own the rights to your own music, if you're creating something, we could play it. You give us the approval, and then we could use it. We could use it as an outro. We could use it at the start of the show. Wouldn't that be fun?